Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. AOR here to drop this series of gameplay. I wanted to give a quick intro into Icarus. I've been playing this game for just north of 200 hours now, and I've been debating back and forth whether or not I'll actually record this gameplay. But where I've been playing it so much and I know that I will be playing it a lot more, I figured I'd go ahead and start dropping these videos for you guys. So the purpose of this video is to give you a quick little introduction into this game called Icarus that I've been playing, and we'll be dropping a lot of content for you guys on this game here. And so I figured I start by explaining just exactly what it is that Icarus is like. For those of you who have never played it, obviously I would categorize it as a survival type game. But for those of you who have played a lot of different games, I would say it's a combination. It's like Minecraft, Skyrim, Rust, and Valheim had an orgy and a baby was born, and that baby is Icarus. So in the regard of Minecraft, obviously there's a lot of cave systems for mining different ores, collecting different materials, and those materials are used to build tools. The materials are used to build bases, obviously. And then when it comes to Skyrim, there's a certain mechanic that I've come to absolutely love and enjoy, which when I say the kill cam from Skyrim, you know what I'm talking about. And if you guys have never played Skyrim, A, you're missing out, and B, I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's see here. See if I can get this kill cam to show up for you guys. I don't know why. Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but I absolutely love that. It reminds me of Skyrim so much in a way that even a few of my buddies who have played this game with me now for a little bit, we've all unanimously agreed that this is exactly what Skyrim was like back in the day. This kill cam brings me a lot of joy, and I'm not sorry about it. For the mechanics, though, it is very satisfying. When you're mining materials, it has a certain, just the feedback when you're mining or chopping trees, it's super satisfying. And so when you're coming home after a long day of work, or you finally have that weekend free to just mind melt and decompress, for me it's just been survival games lately, and I've got to say, like, after these 200 hours of playing, it keeps me coming back. The only thing that I think that could be kind of confusing for some people, I think people understand the concept of like going from a stone axe to an iron axe to the steel axe. Like, that part makes sense, but I think where a lot of people could get hung up is the evolution of crafting. And so here in tier 2 you have a crafting bench, and so to craft a lot of these items you'll need the crafting bench and the anvil bench. And so these two things here, these two tables, these two benches, this is what you need to craft this tier 2 of items. And then tier 3, though, you go into the machining bench, and then you also have the forge. And then tier 4, you have the fabricator, and then you have the foundry, which is this giant 2-story piece of machinery here that I've actually had to literally build and enclose like a room around the top half of that foundry. It was just a bit of an eyesore. So I think if you can stomach the evolution that's necessary for the different crafting tables, I think once you wrap your head around that, I think it's a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable of a gameplay. So to give you like a quick tour of the current iteration of the mansion that I have here on the lake, I've got the second story, which is more or less kind of the rustic vibe that I was trying to capture. And like I said, I've got this this room built literally to just hide the eyesore of the foundry. But the mounts, oh man, I am a small thing, right? The devs over at Icarus, guys, they've pushed out an update every week. I mean, we're 141 weeks into the updates, and I've got to say, credit owed where credit is due, man. I'm a huge fan. Like, they've had heaps of updates that I think that, like, for the things they don't have fleshed out quite yet, the things like the missions that you can do in this game, they're very interactive. They're very intense with improving the game, and I'm a huge fan. Like, I absolutely love playing this game. It's like grown up Minecraft. It's like all the things you love and enjoy about Minecraft, which I've got hundreds of hours in Minecraft, admittedly. Um, and I'm just a huge fan. But the aesthetic is what keeps me coming back. And if you take a look here at the plumbing and electrical, that's kind of what makes me think Rust. For those of you who have played Rust, it has a very similar mechanic in the game when it comes to the plumbing. I really did try to hide some of this stuff so it looks at least a little bit more eye appealing, but it's difficult, admittedly, because yeah, it's a bit extensive. But really, it's just first floor, all my crafting stuff. Second floor is kind of the rustic, homey vibe, cabin on the lake, kind of appeal. Outside, it's getting dark already. Got my beehive going there for my honey things. This is the powerhouse. And get the light on. I've got a mini Jenny going, battery there, solar up there. Down here on the side, I've got the water pump. Obviously, it's got to be in the water to pump water. I've got the little crop going for all my plants. I'm gonna be expanding that, obviously. And I think that concludes the tour of the inside outside. Before one of you pop off in the comments and complain about me using an iron gate for what would be just a normal fence, I don't know, I just personally like the idea of being able to open and close and enter from any portion, regardless of what angle I'm approaching or exiting my base from. The one thing, if I had to complain about one thing, guys, which I know this is still considered early access beta, but it'd have to be the way the credits work. So, in the upper atmosphere, there's the workstation, right? You have to build this orbital exchange in order to buy certain items. Especially comes into play super handy when you're doing missions. So you have like your suits, your armors, different backpacks, models. These are like passive buffs. Like this is a personal favorite of mine when you're traveling far away from the base and you're going to be spending a lot of time out and about. I like the idea of using less oxygen, needing less food, needing less water. Passive buffs, and you got things like your oxygen tanks, your canteens, your tools, various weapons, even. It's kind of a lot, but if I had to complain, it'd be this, okay? Look at this. This chicken costs 500 Ren and 250 exotics. Just for some perspective, I spent 4 days. Let me pull this map over here for you guys. So this is on Map Genie, but on this biome, I literally mined every cave on this side of the map. Spent like 4 afternoons coming home from work, just raw dogging it on open world, and I was a bit underwhelmed, I'll be honest. I had like 655 exotics, so yes, I'm a cheater. Technically, I did inflate this a little bit using Notepad and some files from a couple game saves. But personally, for me, the experience I'm trying to go after, I kind of want to enjoy different aspects of the game and worry less about other aspects of the game. Obviously, you can get more credits from doing missions and the like, and those missions can be done solo. They can be done solo and co-op. It's pretty fun. But a couple of the missions, and the devs have even admitted it, they are revisiting those missions to get a better fleshed out version available to us, but that's why I think this game is so successful. It's why I've enjoyed it so much, and it's why, you know, I've got it just north of 200 hours in this game, and I do plan to play a lot more. So I figured I'd just get the ball rolling for you guys. So if I had to complain though, or be, I suppose, nitpick at the game, I suppose that would be one subject that I've not been too pleased with. But we're in version 141 of the game. Like, I have been thoroughly impressed with the developers over at Icarus. The CEO put out a letter about his intent and his vision for these upcoming weeks and the releases that they'll be making available to us. The downloadable content is great. I mean, as you guys see, I have a couple of mounts here that I can use. That's my primary when it comes to riding. If you need to cover a lot of space on the map really quickly, I think that's kind of the best in my personal observation. There might be a better one. You can trap and tame wolves. I've got 4 wolves. I think this is Arthur. So I've got Arthur, Merlin, Max, and Maverick. And these are my baby boys. They do have perks or skills. You can kind of plug and play with whatever it is that you need them to do or want them to do. And there's certain advantages, obviously, to the skills that you elect for your pets. And there's a lot of things that are really satisfying in this game. I mean, that kill cam just really, really reminds me of Skyrim gameplay. Like, it is probably, it's a small thing, but it is super enjoyable. A few friends and I have played a couple hours together, and it might be a silly thing, guys, but I absolutely love that. It really reminds me of Skyrim in that regard, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if there will ever be a game quite as fun or satisfying when it comes to the hunting as Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, that mechanic of hunting is probably the best I've ever seen, which is funny because it's not a hunting game. Having played quite a few hunting games myself, I don't think I've seen it that good. But this game does a lot of little things really, really well, and it's super satisfying. Like, having played Starfield for, I think, north of 300 hours, I was a little underwhelmed. I love the lore, I love the missions and the gameplay, but personally I just kind of felt a little, yeah, I guess dissatisfied. There was a critic, someone put in the comments while reviewing the game, Starfield's like 100 miles long but a foot deep, and I think they were on to something there. But I'm a little bit optimistic, I suppose, because I know the modding community recently got a hold of Starfield, so I think, like, the improvements that will come from the modding community, I think will really improve that game. And the last survival game that I was playing, which was Sons of the Forest, I couldn't get past how annoying and how capped it felt like I was when it came to building. But I think if you can stomach the grind of this game and you can get past some of its quirks, I think this game has a lot to offer, and it will have a lot more to offer in the future, guys. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the fishing mechanic. Like, when Skyrim got the fishing mechanic, I was so stoked. But it felt like it was just too rigid. It didn't quite feel interactive enough. So this game has a very similar mechanic to, I would say, Minecraft, and maybe even a couple other fishing games, but super satisfying. It can be as elaborate as you want to be. It can be as simple as you want to be. You can spend a day hunting. You can spend a day running around mining. If you want, you can literally use the thatch and make like a tiny little tent even. Or you can build a mansion on the lake. The map is huge. I mean, the biomes are intense. Let me drag this map back over for you guys. Like, so in the 3 biomes, right? So you have like the wetlands, the riverlands, you have the desert biome, the Arctic biome. There's a lot that this game has to offer, and with the intensity and the passion that the developers have in this game. Guys, I think this is like my new favorite game. Like, I don't think anything will quite take the place of Skyrim in my heart. Certainly not, but man, they just did a lot of things right. And I'm pretty stoked to bring you guys a series that I hope you guys will enjoy, even if it's just half as much as I love playing it. I mean, I'm just personally a huge fan of the game. And so with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the intro here. Hopefully this kind of makes sense, and when you see future videos, you're not too lost in the sauce wondering why Al-Anon of Riverwood is now AOR playing different games. I do still play Skyrim. I love it. But with how much time I've spent playing this game and how much time I will spend playing this game, I'm looking forward to the future and bringing you guys some content that hopefully you will enjoy. And guys, until next time, take care.